Anita, greetings. Mom, shalom, shalom. Set apart, blessed rising. All right, beautiful people. Happy Friday. It is September the 23rd, 2022, day 220 of year 4 of reading through the books of the Law and the Prophets and of the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1238. Today we are starting Book of S, Daughter of Jehovah, on page 642. All right, beautiful people. Father, we thank you that you are near. All right, beautiful people, let's get started. Nat Sarai Yahoo, Grand Rising, Creative Gang. Auntie, Grand Rising, beautiful. Belinda Brown. All right, y'all. Kendra, shalom, sis. Shalom, shalom. All right, beautiful people. Page 642, Book of S, Daughter of Jehovah. Being a heavenly history of the earth and her heavens and of Etheria since 400 years ago down to the dawn of the Cosmon era. And after the Cosmon era, it's reference letter A. Let me get my take out for the back of this book. And the Book of Judgment is after. Woo! Yes. Okay, so the references begin on page 663 for Book of S. And let's see, down to the dawn of the Cosmon era. A on 663 says, by reference to God's Book of Being, we infer that ES, is a term signifying spirit world and not an actual angel or goddess like those mentioned in the preceding books. 1882 edition. Okay, so go back to page 642. Hold on, let me see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure my Roman numerals is in order, y'all. In order, 6. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna read that much, but I went through number and I was just double checking myself. I didn't even look up to see that y'all was trying to tell me, hey, your numbers is off, your numbers off. I'm like, darn it. Sometimes I'll be on the road and I just keep going and won't look up. All right, I'll be mindful to look up from time to time. Then, shalom, shalom, sis. Oh, is it Nene? It's probably Nene because it's Nene. All right, sorry. All right, chapter 1. When Jehovah brought the great serpent, solar phalanx, along the road of Vorcom in Etheria, behold, the earth passed into the light of the ark of Cosmon, rising upward higher and higher in the dawn thereof. To his Etherian gods and goddesses, Jehovah said, as ye have founded arcs of light in my Etherian heavens to determine the travel of my corporal worlds, so shall my God of the earth inspire mortals to build lighthouses for man's ships that travel on the oceans. And they that travel in the ships, and they on the land shall know when a ship neareth the port, even as ye behold my traveling earth approaching the place of Cosmon. Let me just read all that again. Hold on. Stephen, shalom, shalom. Yare, Yah, shalom, shalom. Global purpose, Hannah. Shalom. Let me read this again. Let me read it again. To his Etherian gods and goddesses, Jehovah said, as ye have founded arcs of light in my Etherian heavens to determine the travel of my corporal worlds, so shall my God of the earth inspire mortals to build lighthouses for man's ships that travel on the oceans. And they that travel in the ships, and they on the land, shall know when a ship neareth the port, even as ye behold my traveling earth approaching the place of Cosmon. For this... Sorry, y'all. Brian Jogi. Peace up, brother. Sorry, y'all. I know it's loud. There's a lot going on this morning. Okay. Verse 3. For this shall be an illustration unto mortals, that I have appointed cycles of times and dawns of times with gods and goddesses to superintend my creations in tenderness and love. Lest peradventure man become despondent, saying, Alas, Jehovah provideth not in wisdom commensurate with the magnificence of his creations. Behold, the time draweth near when the nations of the earth shall course around the whole earth in ships, crossing the seas and oceans to all the places I created. And those that have built in one place shall no longer say, This is our country. For I will no more have the nations of the earth locked up unto themselves, nor one continent seclusive to one people, nor one ocean, nor sea, nor port, nor river for any nation or tribe of men. They shall know that the whole earth is mine, and all the waters of the earth, and the air of the firmament, and that I created them for all my people to receive them and enjoy them unto mine own glory. Y'all hear that? Y'all better get out there and start traveling this world. They shall throw open their places and say to one another, Welcome, my brother. Wheresoever Jehovah prompted thee to dwell, be it so with thee, and I will give unto thee also. Now it shall come to pass, when the different nations and peoples began to travel from one country to another, they will scornfully say of each other, Thou heathen, thou outside barbarian. For they would judge with men's eyes and with men's understanding, not comprehending the magnificence of the plans of my resurrections, which I provided unto them through my gods and goddesses. As in former cycles, I sent unto the nations separately. So in Cosmon, I shall not send separately, but unto the whole world. As in former cycles, I sent leaders and commanding gods. So in Cosmon, I shall not send either earthly leaders or a worshipful God or Lord. When man was in great darkness, I sent saviors and deliverers unto him. And my saviors taught man by certain commandments and by prayers how he should live to be saved from sin. But in Cosmon I shall not send nor savior nor archangel with a loud sounding trumpet, but I will come to man's understanding through the light of my own wisdom, and man shall interpret my words as I speak to his own soul, and such shall be his sacred words, right? You know how we all waking up here a little, there a little, over here and over there, and we beginning to cherish the words because we're taking what we hear and we're testing the information and making it our own. Like, you cannot tell me that this is not real. From our own due diligence and research, right? It becomes our own sacred words from the Creator. Let me read that again. That's good. I'll go to 12. When man was in great darkness, I sent saviors and deliverers unto him. And my saviors taught man by certain commandments and by prayers how he should live to be saved from sin. But in Cosmon, I shall send nor savior nor archangel with a loud sounding trumpet, but I will come to man's understanding through the light of my own wisdom. And man shall interpret my words as I speak to his own soul, and such shall be his sacred words. Man shall pray to me and speak to me in his own way, and not according to the dictation of any man, nor priest, nor sacred book, save the book of my creations. Neither shall man longer accept any of the former revelations and bow down unto them. For as I was sufficient unto the ancients to speak to them things that were good for them, even so will I speak to my chosen of the Cosmon era that which is good for them also. My heavens shall be revealed unto them, as promised by my prophets of old, and man shall be taught how to see and comprehend my heavens with his own judgment, and not according to what any other man saith my revelations are. Case in point, you know how when I explain stuff, I use scenes from movies on how I understand it to get my point across? Hey, it gets the point across. Through my own understanding, I'm learning about the Creator, right? Great Spirit. Shalom, beautiful people of the UK. Man shall pray. I'm going to go back to verse 14. We're on page 642. Man shall pray to me and speak to me in his own way, and not according to the dictation of any man, nor priest, nor sacred book, save the book of my creations. Neither shall any man longer accept any of the former revelations and bow down unto them. For as I was sufficient unto the ancients to speak to them things that were good for them, even so will I speak to my chosen of the cosmon era, that which is good for them also. My heavens shall be revealed unto them, as promised by my prophets of old. And man shall be taught how to see and comprehend my heavens with his own judgment, and not according to what any other man saith my revelations are. Behold, in the ancient days I provided saviors and rabbis and priests to pray for man and confess him of his sins. But these things will I put away, and no one shall pray for the living, nor confess him of his sins by words or signs or ceremonies. But every man shall pray for himself in his own way and confess his sins unto me for forgiveness. Page 643 is plate 91, and it has the Ark of Cosmon. This is what the plate looks like right here. I'll take a picture of this and post it. Oh, I still forgot to post that other reference with y'all. But I get it there so y'all can see. Okay, so I'm going to read this, what it says under the plate. Alicia, y'all. Okay, under plate 91, Ark of Cosmon, it says, showing the earth in the 32nd year of the Cosmon era, Jehovah said, when the world approacheth Danha and Sabia, the nations shall be quickened with new light. For Cosmon cometh out of the midst, and my Ethereal host shall press upon the understanding of men, and they shall fill all the nations and kingdoms with new discoveries and inventions and books of learning. And men shall be conceited of themselves above all the ages past, and they shall deny me and quarrel with my name and cast me out. Look. Let me just keep going. Listen. And they shall deny me and quarrel with my name and cast me out. But I will come upon them as a father in love and mercy. And my host of heaven shall cause babes and fools to confound the wise by signs and miracles. My host from heaven shall cause chairs to speak and inanimate things to walk and dance. The dead shall reappear to the living and talk with them face to face, and eat and drink and provide themselves. Hold on. The dead shall reappear to the living and talk with them face to face, and eat and drink and prove themselves to the children of the earth, and make my kingdoms known. I was about to say, could this just be in dreams? Because I had a people who have already given up their flesh come to me in dreams. But clearly it says, make known to all the people of the earth. Okay, so we'll be watching. The dead shall reappear to the living and talk with them face to face. I mean, we've seen it through Oahspe, right? Like when Brahma, the true Brahma, passed, and the true Zarathustra, like right after they passed, they show something like that in the New Testament after JC was hung on the cross and he reappeared after the 3 days. But in Oahspe, it wasn't like a 3-day time period. They actually, right after they had given up the flesh, they was able to actually, because how learned they were already and their spiritual understanding had been elevated so high up in the grades, they learned how to do that, right? They was able to sargas, or be able to pull from the element what they needed to create a new, not necessarily create, but pull together and fashion a body for themselves, right? Just like what we would say the angels can do. The angels have, I just use church terminology. Angels have the ability to manifest themselves where we can see them and then just disappear and go back, right? It's the same thing, same exact thing. They have the ability to do that now, but not all of them, depending on how high they were elevated in their spiritual understanding before they gave up their flesh back to the dirt. Okay. The dead shall reappear to the living and talk with them face to face and eat and drink and prove themselves to the children of earth and make my kingdoms known. Yea, they shall encompass the whole earth around about with signs and wonders, and set at naught the philosophy of men and the idolatries of the ancients. For both the living and dead shall know that I, Jehovah, live and reign over heaven and earth. This shall be a new era, and it shall be called Cosmon, because it embraceth the present and all the past. Then will I reveal myself, and they that deny me shall accept me of their own accord. Will they put away their lords? Hold on, let me go back. Then will I reveal myself, and they that deny me shall accept me. Of their own accord will they put away their lords and their gods and their saviors, nor shall they more have idols of me, either on earth or in heaven, for I am sufficient unto all. Let me highlight something real quick, something that I quote when I was just reading this, where it says what Cosmon is and why it's called Cosmon. I just real quick had a flash thought. Remember how I always say in life when we're born into the earth realm, it's like a math equation. We start learning. First of all, we got to learn how to recognize the numbers and what they are, right? And the value that's assigned to each number. And then you take these numbers that you learn separately, you know, the letters 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of all the math equations in English, we're working with these 10 numbers, right? 0 through 9. And they just formulate them and reformulate them for different equations, right? It says right here, this shall be a new era, and it shall be called Cosmon, because it embraceth the present day and all the past, right? So it's like that math equation where you're learning in phases, but you don't learn it all right then and there, like toddlers and preschoolers, or right before preschool age, the parents start teaching them what numbers are, and they're recognizing the letters and the numbers and stuff, right? But that takes time. Just like the earth progressing into a higher understanding of who the creator is, it takes time. It takes phases. Just like us, you don't start getting into fractions. Well, shoot, now, well, it's been proven. Fractions can be done. I've seen it live. Fractions can be done by 5 and 6 year olds, depending on how much training they had before. Now, mind you, these children had been properly trained. They had a teacher, right? But it amazes me how much they can be taught and they can keep in these first 7 years of life, to where they had Yale students astounded. 5 and 6 year old babies. I'm like, what am I even doing with my life? Why am I even teaching my own children, right? I'm like, that was amazing to me. I'm like, wow. And then when they did it, because it was an experiment that they did, they took the most, what they would label at-risk children from what they would label the worst neighborhoods, or what we probably call the ghetto, right? They took them babies, right? And that was a part of the test, was to prove it's not really about the color of the skin. It's more so about the environment and the teachers that are given to the students. I'm like, ugh, wow, right? I was speechless watching this. And I shared it before. Shucks, I only shared that on Facebook though, but the clip I got from YouTube, and I actually, when I was learning about linguistics and teaching English to my children, I came across it. Hold on, let me read it. I'm gonna see if I can find it. It's old. I'm not sure if Facebook removed it, but it's really old. You know how sometimes you upload videos to Facebook and you go back and some of your videos are missing? It fell into that because I actually downloaded it from YouTube and I re-uploaded it to Facebook. So that's probably what it got me at. This don't belong to you, sis. Why you upload it, right? Let me see if I can find it. Linguistics. Yale students. Babies. Find this video. Y'all gotta see this video. So everything it says, because this new era This shall be a new era, and it shall be called Cosmon, because it embraces the present day and all the past. So everything that we learned back then, bring all that information with us, right? Y'all always hear me say that. Everything that you learn, bring it along with you so we can solve the equation. Keep everything on the table. We got to figure this out, right? So at a certain point in time, we should be able to do fractions and equations and get into a little bit of trigonometry, and then you be able to cross subjects with this type of math and begin to do chemistry and, look at things in nature just by understanding math, right? And that's what's happened through all the time periods of the earth. There is good things in each, and the Creator has used the saviors and even the false ones, all the information, all the lessons we learned, bring them along here because we're going to need it. Because don't forget, all of this belongs to me, right? This is school for all of you when I'm teaching you how to grow and be like me. Be like a creator, right? Not that you are, right? It's just like when we train our children, right? We grow them up. We train them so they can be as efficient, because one day it's possible most of them will have families and they will have children. So everything that you learn growing up, because really what we do, we're repeating the template that was put before us when we grow up, unless we get a better template along the way we grow up where we can switch out some information to make our product a little bit better. That's all that's happening. We're bringing all that information in our life, just like what happened through the ages and the phases of the earth and everything that was going on in the heaven and earth. We bring it along. All of it is needed for this equation during the Cosmon era, right? This is amazing. I read again and we'll go to the next page. This shall be a new era, and it shall be called Cosmon, because it embraceth the present and all the past. Then will I reveal myself, and they that deny me shall accept me of their own accord. Will they put away their lords and their gods and their saviors, nor shall they more have idols of me, either on the earth or in heaven, for I am sufficient unto all. All right, y'all. Next page, 644. Shebrew. Hey, girl. Hey, Kate. And instead, hold on. Let me read this last sentence before I started reading this. Let me read 16, then we'll just go, because there was a little bit of time where I broke it up with the plate. Verse 16 on page 642. My heavens shall be revealed unto them, as promised by my prophets of old. And man shall be taught how to see and comprehend my heavens with his own judgment, and not according to what any other man saith my revelations are. Behold, in the ancient days, I provided saviors and rabbis and priests to pray for man and confess him of his sins. But these things will I put away, and no one shall pray for the living, nor confess him of his sins by words or signs or ceremonies. But every man shall pray for himself in his own way and confess his sins unto me for forgiveness. And instead of praying in words for his brother, saying, Jehovah help him, he shall go in person and help him with his own hands. Neither shall man sit idly and say, O Jehovah, help thou me, come and save me. But he shall rise up in the majesty I created him, saying, Behold me, Jehovah, I will save myself. Guide thou me, oh Father. That's exactly what we're doing, right? We got out of that phase. Jesus, take the wheel, right? And Jesus got to cast all my burdens upon him, for he carried for me, right? Jehovah said, y'all gonna grow up a little bit and you can begin to take responsibility for your life. Just like when your children live in your house, there's a certain time where they gotta call on mama, daddy, or you can label mom and daddy saviors, right? And there it is an appropriate time for those things. But the time now, you're a teenager, you call me one more time to come fix you something to eat, we're gonna have a problem. What's now my conversation with you changes, like, oh baby, don't worry about that. So whereas before you got up, I knew you was gonna be hungry. So look, I knew the things you needed even before you knew you needed them, before you even asked me. Get up early, I know the baby's gonna be hungry. Let me go ahead and get breakfast together, pull their clothes out, and they're gonna wear this. I'm gonna need to bathe them. All of that is taken care of. But now, as you get a little bit older, don't think this season is still in, because it's not. Mama's kitchen, I ain't gonna say mama's kitchen is closed, mama's kitchen is open. But remember everything you learned, you watched me do, how I prepared this. We even got instructions, or you could even come ask me and I'll help you out. But you're going to do the work yourself. Because it becomes quite weird if you're 14 and 15 years old and I have to bathe you. That only happens if you're incapacitated medically some way, right? Or even if you're incapacitated mentally, which affects your ability to think and comprehend straight, where you may need some help to wash your body. But right now, the time now is for you to do for yourself, my G, right? Don't walk around in my house stinking. Neither shall, hold on, verse 19. And instead of praying in words for his brother, saying, Jehovah, help him. Like, Father, go help him, please. Like you ride past somebody, a sister or brother, struggling to change their tire on the road. Father, send them help. Bruh, you just rolled past them. You calling me, go help them. Look, you are my hands. You are my hands and feet. Instead of praying in words for his brother, saying, Jehovah, help him, he shall go in person and help him with his own hands. Neither shall man sit idly and say, O Jehovah, help thou me, come and save me. But he shall rise up in the majesty I created him, saying, Behold me, Jehovah, I will save myself. Guide thou me, O Father. Right? Just like children, they get out there, they grow, they learning how to do stuff for themselves. Oh, look what I did. Okay. And of course, the product that they put out get better and better. We understand that, right? And so we hype them up. Girl, that looks so good. What is it? Right? And they be so excited that they that you misunderstood what they thought you would understand that they did, right? Oh, this is this, and this is you and Daddy walking. Well, what's that? Well, that's me. Why does it have a tail? Oh, that's not a tail. That's my jacket. You know the jacket with the string? Oh, okay, right? And as they get older, they become proud of the product they put back. It's like, Jehovah, behold thou me. Look what I'm doing. I'm getting it. I ain't a lost cause. I got it. You see how this working? And so Craig be like, go ahead, okay, y'all. Look at this, At least in my mind, that's how I think it's happening. That's what I be doing for my kids. Me and my husband. Look. Okay, look. This is good. I'm going to just read 19 again. And instead of praying in words for his brother, saying, Jehovah, help me, he shall go in person and help him with his own hands. Neither shall man sit idly and say, O Jehovah, help thou me, come and save me. But he shall rise up in the majesty I created him, saying, Behold me, Jehovah, I will save myself. Guide thou me, O Father. And he shall walk forth proudly in my sight, scorning evil and sin, doing with all his might for his own salvation. And I will come unto him, for of such shall be my chosen. Why? It's simple, because we can trust you. You take responsibility. You ain't always trying to pass the buck and the blame on everybody else on why things ain't happening. He said, of these right here, these are my chosen, right? Not that he's taking favorites, because you can become a chosen too. Kimber Max, shalom. You can become a chosen too. You can choose yourself. Add yourself to the ranks of the chosen. And he shall walk forth proudly in my sight, scorning evil and sin, doing with all his might for his own salvation. And I will come unto him, for of such shall be my chosen. And Cosmon, I shall not come to make a servant of man unto man, nor to make him afraid when the priest speaketh. I will make man hold up his head fearlessly before men in remembrance of his daily covenant unto me, his creator, in the practice of righteousness. And that day, the preacher and the priest shall be of little avail. My standard shall be of good works and not of words. And you know what's sad? They, at least from my experience, being a Christian, it's almost like they prepare you to look at this as something bad, right? Oh, good works ain't gonna get you into heaven, right? That kind of garbage, right? In that day, the preacher and the priest shall be of little avail. My standard shall be of good works and not of words. Neither shall my hand be unto individuals only, but unto nations, kingdoms, and empires. Whatsoever people embrace me, the same will I embrace also. And the sign shall be unto them. Their ports and lands and waters shall be thrown open unto all other people. And they shall prosper and become numerous, thriving in peace and plenty. And my holy angels from my exalted heavens shall minister unto them, and they shall grow in wisdom, good works, and in learning, and in inventions and discoveries. But whatsoever people will not embrace me, the same will I not embrace. Their ports shall be bound up, and their lands and waters shall not be open unto others. Verily, they shall attempt to be an exclusive people, and I will withdraw my exalted angels away from them, and they shall be encompassed with darkness. These signs shall be before the world as my living testimony, We can see that now, y'all. We can really see that now. Think about some nations that are bound and locked up from other people coming in, right? These signs shall be before the world as my living testimony, and my prophets shall use these signs in determining which nations and peoples my hand covereth over to protect and save them. My prophets shall remember the countries of old, which strove against me and my chosen, how they went down in darkness. When my dawn of a cycle cometh, I ever put away the ancient doctrines and the established gods and saviors. Hold on. When my dawn of a cycle cometh, I ever put away the ancient doctrines and the established gods and saviors. None have ever stayed my hand. Now behold, man shall look about in the cosmine era and see my footprints in the ancient times, how I ministered unto the races of men, and he shall apply with judgment the history of other days. This is exactly what we're doing now, right? That's exactly what we're doing now. I'm going to read that again. That's so good. Verse 31, on page 644. When my dawn of a cycle cometh, I ever put away the ancient doctrines and the established gods and saviors. None have ever stayed my hand. Now behold, man shall look about in the cosmine era and see my footprints in the ancient times, how I ministered unto the races of men, and he shall apply with judgment the history of other days. This also will I accomplish. Mom. Yes.
They put him bubbles in his pants.
Okay, in his pocket?
No, in his shorts. Him did this.
Go explain that to your father. Go explain that to your father. Some things dads just need to handle. All right. Verse 32, 644. This also will I accomplish. Kingdoms and nations shall judge their own strength by their rigid laws and standing armies. And they shall look upon my people and say, alas, they are weak. They neither have kings nor armies nor rigid laws. But my prophets shall remember my chosen of old who had faith in me. And my prophets shall say to the kings with mighty armies, behold, ye are the weakest, and those that have no armies are the strongest, and their prophecies shall not fail. That which applieth in my heavens of the earth shall apply on the earth, and that which applieth on the earth shall apply in the heavens thereof. The bondage of kings and queens and emperors and rich men and leaders of men shall be with them in the heavens of this earth, until they have undone the tyranny they had over others. Their heavens shall be without liberty to them, right? This is just the going theme of Oahspe. Hold on, this is... okay. And not just the going theme of Oahspe, but we require this even here, which is sometimes I don't understand the arguments. I'll say they're foolish, unfounded arguments against Oahspe. We require these same things here, right? You mess my kitchen up, come clean it. Don't leave it for somebody else to do. This is your responsibility. You got a certain position at a job, you're required to carry out what your position description says you must do. If you don't, you're going to need to go fix it, or you can get fired from this position, right? There are different protocols, right? But there is a time, there was a period, listen, as at the beginning of Oahspe, there was a period of time where certain guys came in and messed up stuff, and then they were just moved out of the way. And it was left up to the newer gods coming in to fix it. I remember reading that. And then at a certain era, as the earth progressed and life progressed on earth and in heaven, they were now made responsible, and they had to begin cleaning up their mess. As a matter of fact, it said time before I didn't require this, but time now, the way we have grown, the way the earth has grown, now you know better. You've been here long enough to understand how I operate, how things should go. Now you're going to be required to clean up your messes, right? And it's been that way ever since. Even coming into the world, that's what we require here. As long as I can never remember, as long as I've been born on the earth, when you become of age, it's the same thing. Children mess up, don't worry about it, 1 and 2, because they haven't really gotten the concept down, right? When you get about 3, 4 years old, you know what you're doing. Start picking up this stuff. Now, they could have destroyed the whole room. We don't really necessarily expect them to clean it to our likings. So we're going to get in there and kind of help clean up some of this stuff behind them, just like we clean up the dishes behind them. At a certain point, you're here, you just do your thing. You're not required to clean up after yourself. It's the same process. You see it when you understand it. You can see it everywhere in life. As you get a little bit older, now before I didn't require you to do this, right? Like now, I don't require my smaller children to wash dishes. But when you hit that age, now I know I didn't. Well, why I gotta wash? I ain't never had to wash it. First of all, we didn't trust you coming to clean up this mess that you made. Don't none of us want food poisoning. So somebody else older who know how to do the job is going to take over this, right? But you're in training. We're going to teach you how to clean up messes. And once you're trained on how to properly clean up messes, add a little bit of bleach to that water, right? To make sure you kill all germs, right? That's how my mama taught me. Going to add a little bit of bleach to that dishwater, right? Because sometimes you have some meals. Sometimes it don't require, but sometimes it does. Sometimes you eat something that's really greasy. Add some bleach to that water. And when the water gets a little bit greasy, let that nasty water out that sink and run you some fresh, hot dish water. And don't wash my dishes in cold water. Like all of these things you got to learn. Before I didn't require this of you. Now you're of age. Now it's time for you to start cleaning up your messes. Same thing with the gods. The same thing happened. And now we're of age. And it's time for you to start cleaning up your messes. You made this mess over this whole nation. Your whole heaven is going to be locked up till you clean this up. Right? How is that so hard to understand? It's not. Listen. Everything that the Father is teaching us to understand spiritually, He's provided reference and everything we could possibly references and resources and even real life getting there, arriving at work to actually do to get you involved to see, to understand these principles. Listen. That which applieth in my heavens of the earth shall apply on the earth. That which applieth on the earth shall apply in the heavens thereof. The bondage of kings and queens and emperors and rich men and leaders of men shall be with them in the heavens of this earth, until they have undone the tyranny they had over others. Their heavens shall be without liberty to them. Whom they sought to lead on the earth, they shall lead in heaven. Neither shall there be exalted resurrection for them until the lowest of their subjects have risen before them. Oh, you can't go. Everybody don't know how to do this. Can't none of y'all go. We're going to go together as a group. Make sure everybody know what to do. Yep, and you're teaching them. And they that live isolated and alone on the earth shall be isolated and alone in the heavens of the earth. Man shall learn that affliction and brotherhood unto others on earth shall find affiliation and brotherhood in the heavens of the earth. Whatever you're doing down here is exactly what you're going to encounter there. Whosoever openeth his soul in heaven and harmony unto others on earth shall find love and harmony in heaven. And the same rule applied to nations and peoples, according to their love and harmony, and the brethren of their liberality unto other nations and peoples. Even so shall the heavens of the earth, whether they be... I'm sorry. Let me read the whole sentence again. And the same rule shall apply to nations and peoples, according to their love and harmony, and the breadth of their liberality unto other nations and peoples. Even so shall be the heavens of the earth, whither they shall migrate after death. All these things of heaven and earth shall be made plain to man and Cosmon. With his own eyes he shall behold the justice of his creator. BC Shalom. Yo, this is good. Oh, y'all talking to me? Oh, y'all talking to each other. Okay, chapter 2. We are in Book of S, Daughter of Jehovah, page 644. To his Etherian gods and goddesses, Jehovah said, behold, in 12 generations, my dawn of Cosmon will reach the earth. Go ye down to the earth and provide mortals and angels unto the work of my cycle. In other times, my gods and goddesses said unto man, thou shalt and thou shalt not. Behold, in Cosmon ye shall declare the glory of my works and the plans of my heavens unto the nations of the earth. In all my fullness ye shall declare the glories of my creations. But ye shall not say to this man, nor to that man, thou shalt believe, or that thou shalt not believe. Neither shall ye say to man, thou shalt do this, and thou shalt not do that. Such were the ancient cycles and the custom of my revelators. But such shall not be the custom of my revelators in this day. But man, having heard and seen, shall judge what he will do. He shall believe or not believe, and do or not do according to his own judgment. Because I hold man responsible, even so should he have liberty to choose. Right? So we shouldn't be getting mad at people when they choose not to love the Creator like we do. It's their choice. He's giving them that freedom to do or not to do without somebody standing over them with guns pointing at them. Right? You better do this. Nope. Because I hold man responsible, even so should he have liberty to choose. And if he strive to choose me by doing righteously, he shall not fail. Though he accept none of the ancient doctrines, nor rites, nor ceremonies, nor gods, nor lords, nor saviors, but strive for me in doing good unto others, he shall be my chosen, even though he accepted not my name. Let me read it. Let me read it again. Let me read this again. Let me read it again. Go to 8. I'm going to 8. Go to 8, y'all. Go to 8. Because I hold man responsible, even so should he have liberty to choose. And if he strive to choose me by doing righteously, he shall not fail. Listen to this. Though he accept none of the ancient doctrines, nor rites, nor ceremonies, nor gods, nor lords, nor saviors, but strive for me in doing good unto others, he shall be my chosen, even though he accept not my name. Right? Listen. Liberty, first of all, unto all people, then discipline and harmony, and then the improvement of all the talents I created withal. I can understand this now, right? Like, I like what you said. Who just said that? Gloria. Shalom says, no arguments over names. Because listen, what it say? We learned, before we even got here, right? What's going to happen? Let's go back. In plate 91, right? Listen to this. The very last sentence. After this shall be a new era and it shall be called Cosmon. After that sentence on page 643, it says, let me just read. This shall be a new era. This shall be a new era and it shall be called Cosmon because it embraceth the present and all the past. Then will I reveal myself, and they that deny me shall accept me of their own accord. They will put away their lords and their gods and saviors, nor shall they have more idols of me, either on earth or in heaven, for I am sufficient unto all. I was looking, that is a part of it, but that's not the only thing. But anyway, it said when you give liberty to man and let him go through the process of figuring all of this out, what's going to happen in the end is he's eventually going to choose me. No matter how many, I'm just summing it up, no matter how many hardships and what we see as turning away or blasphemy or whatever, the Creator lets all of that go on. He said, I'll allow it. Go ahead. And we're looking like, how can you allow that? He's like, don't, you're going to see. Just watch this play out. That's why you have to give liberty unto all men. Let them be responsible, right? Because as they grow up, it takes some people a little bit longer. Some are a little hard-headed, a whole lot longer than some of the other ones. Like, I don't need to go through that. You just explain to me the outcome of that, and I'm going to bypass that road altogether. I don't, some people, I ain't from, what is the show me state? Whatever the show me state is, I ain't got to experience it to believe it. Just explain to me. Now let me calculate. And if I feel like I need to walk that way, because I personally, I don't like pain. I can be hard-headed sometimes, but I'm not going to purposely go do something and get myself hurt. Oh, that's going to cause me to fall off the building? Oh, yeah, I ain't doing that. Matter of fact, I might not even go into that building. Or at least get close enough to there where it could be a possibility where I might even slip and get close to there. I'm just not, right? Listen. He said, back to page 645, I read 10 again. Though he accept none of the ancient doctrines, nor rites, nor ceremonies, nor gods, nor lords, nor saviors, but strive for me in doing good unto others, he shall be my chosen, even though he accept not my name. Liberty first of all unto all people, then discipline and harmony, and then the improvement of the talents I created withal. All right. Next to this, to have no leader, nor anyone to think for another, nor to abandon one's own judgment contrary to wisdom and truth. Like, you got to walk it out. You have to be able to develop this. If you can't continue to move in your own judgment, if you make a decision and somebody else come with a contradicting viewpoint, if that throws you off, you still got a lot of growing to do, right? Okay, instead of getting mad and fight one, okay, wow, just really see it out. Okay, look at it from their point of view. Does it seem contradictory from the perception that they're looking at things? Look at both sides. Like, really, you have to go through this and really break it down and understand, so you can learn how to stand firm on your judgment despite what anybody else say to you ever, no matter how much they get in your face. No, you cannot. Zay already asked me and I told him no too. Go.
Mom, you already doing this other mom thing.
Go. Listen, Tootie, I'll let you end it tomorrow. But back up. We already got started late. See what you're doing now? The crying and stuff? That's not going to help you end it. I already said no. Tomorrow you can. Baby girl. Out of the kitchen, y'all. Everybody go. Goodbye. 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 Verse 11, page 645. Liberty, first of all, unto all people, then discipline and harmony, and then the improvement of all the talents I created with all. Next to this, to have no leader, nor anyone to think for another, nor to abandon one's own judgment contrary to wisdom and truth, but to contend not, nor to be stubborn and positive as to the righteousness of one's own opinion. For I created no two men alike to see, For I created no two men to see alike the same thing on earth or in heaven. We were just talking about that perception, right? As to which matters the highest wisdom is to suffer all men to have full liberty to think on all subjects in their own way. In the olden times, they had inquisitors to watch as to what another did or said or imitated or intimated. That's intimated. Okay. In the olden times, they had inquisitors to watch as to what another did or said or intimated. Now behold, in Cosmon, exactly the opposite of this shall be the behavior of my chosen. Though man seeth his neighbor do differently from what he himself would do, he shall look the other way, or if he speak to him of the matter, it shall be with respect, even as he would to his own mother or father. For any shortness of speech, or error, or evil expression, man shall not reprove his neighbor, nor find fault with him, more than he would with his own mother or father or sister or brother. Rather, he shall strive not to see nor hear the shortness of any man. Pretty much saying, let them work out the salvation of their own souls, right? They'll get it eventually. They shall be, verse 18, page 645. They shall be taught to see the good that is in others, to speak of the delights of all my living creatures. Hey, don't be so loud. Verse 19. To reprove with words, to circumspect the doings of one's neighbors, their opinions and behavior, these shall I put away in Cosmon. Neither shall one man advise another without becoming bound to him that followeth his advice. And look, I ain't gonna tell you to go do that, because if you go do this and this happen, you're gonna blame that on me. So listen, take my advice. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'll tell you the options that I see available just to kind of help you out, just help you grease the wheels a little bit, but think about all of it, right? And you choose. Hurry up. Okay, verse 20. Neither shall one man advise another without becoming bound to him that followeth his advice. This also shall man be made to understand in Cosmon. In other cycles, I sent my Lewis to raise up certain mortals through whom I could reveal my commandments unto others. In Cosmon, behold, I shall not raise up any great leader forth. My light shall fall upon thousands and thousands. Of many varieties of talents shall be my chosen in that day. And it's kind of like what we see in Joel, right? Where we read in there, where in the last days the Spirit will be poured out upon all flesh, right? Maids, servants, children, old men, young men, dreams, see visions, all this stuff. That reminds me of that. In other cycles, I sent my Lewis to raise up certain mortals through whom I could reveal my commandments unto others. In Cosmon, behold, I will not raise up any great leader forth. My light shall fall upon thousands and thousands. Of many varieties of talents shall be my chosen in that day. For which reason, when ye have descended to the earth, ye shall appoint Lewis unto millions of mortals, and they shall raise up a numerous offspring unto me. And it shall be born with them to see and feel that a new era is at hand. And they shall be born skeptical to the ancient doctrines, gods, lords, and saviors. Nevertheless, they shall be the best of men, and wise and charitable, and most considerate of the opinions of others, right? I've grown to at least hear people out. Even if they don't believe or necessarily believe, they could even be the complete opposite, right? That's something I've learned to do with people who are opposite from me. And I think I really got that training really good while I was active duty in military, because that was the first time I had come into contact with people from all over the world, not just the different people who were joining, who were born from different walks of life from here in the States. Because mostly when you go into the military, although most of the people are American, you have some different nationalities who were born here. But I'm talking about as we travel, as we got to different ports and places, actually going out into the countries, mingling with the people, finding out. The first thing I did when I went to any port was to find out where the different places of worship was, right? I had even some of the church people, I call them church people, they wouldn't even go with me when I went to a mosque when we went to Turkey. They was like, what you going, ain't you, why you going? I was like, first of all, I don't know if I'm ever come to Turkey again. I at least want to see what it look like inside of here. Shoot, we buy them Turkish rugs and stuff, right? I want to see. That's a pagan temple. I ain't going in there. What? Bruh. And I would leave them, right? I had one person that would go with me. She was like my ride or die. And she didn't half believe nothing. But she was just cool. Like, I'll go with you. Let's go. Because I didn't want to get like kidnapped or trafficked or something. But I was really curious about the different places of worship. All the places we went, right? And just talking or trying to communicate with the people. Smiles and hand signs and pointing was my main type of communication until somebody that half spoke English kind of heard and kind of came and helped translate what I was trying to say or the questions I was trying to ask, right? Listen. Nevertheless, verse 24, page 645. Nevertheless, they shall be the best of men, and wise and charitable, and most considerate of the opinions of others. And it shall come to pass that when the western continent is inhabited across from east to west, all the earth will be circumscribed with men of wisdom and learning. And the year of the circumscribing shall be the beginning of wisdom. And the heavens of the earth shall be opened, and the angels thereof shall descend to the earth and make themselves known to mortals, even through them which your Lewis shall have borne unto the work. Remember, the Lewis are the angels who were once humans, right? They've grown enough in the grades, and their position is now Lewis, which is master of generations, right? This is where your true prophecy comes from. It comes from this particular position, and it's not originated there, but it can be, it's kind of passed down from there, because the Lewis, the master of generations, they're the ones who watch the families, the babies who are being born, what atmosphere they were born into, the life of the mother and the father while the baby was in the womb, and as the baby come out of the womb, all of this stuff, and not just this current cycle of the baby's life, but even the generations that came before this child came, like their grandparents and everybody in this direct line of succession where this seed is being born, they're accurately able to prophesy what this child would be based on all of this information, not just something I heard a word from the Lord. The Father said. Sometimes you just got to walk away because the ones that think they know, they really don't know, your word's just going to be landing on deaf ears. It really is, right? It's just, I try not to roll my eyes so much anymore, right? I just try to pull myself together. Instead of rolling them, when I feel that they on their way to a roll, I just close my lids to stop the roll. I mean, the roll don't stop, but my lids make everybody else think that the roll didn't stop, and I just close them. And I keep my thoughts to myself, right? Listen. Verse 24. Nevertheless, they shall be the best of men, and wise and charitable, and most considerate of the opinions of others. And it shall come to pass that when the western continent is inhabited across from east to west, all the earth will be circumscribed with men of wisdom and learning. And the year of the circumscribing shall be the beginning of Cosmon. And the heavens of the earth shall be opened, and the angels thereof shall descend to the earth and make themselves known to mortals, even through them which your Lewis shall have borne unto the work. And they're the ones who, the Lewis, are also in charge of finding what family line a true prophet, one who like from birth can hear the Father speak, the Creator speak. It's their job to find the family that particular child should be born into, right? And they help cultivate and develop that, and they decide which generation, just like it happened with the real Joshua, what generation that child would be born in. It takes at least six to get it to cultivate the bloodline and the hearing from the Creator. At least 6 generations. Like you can't do it before 6. From what I've learned, it takes at least 6 to cultivate this, because it's passed down. Like, it's just, some things are just passed down from the fathers and mothers. It needs to be cultivated for at least 6 generations, right? And the heavens of the earth shall be opened, and the angels thereof shall descend to the earth, and make themselves known to mortals, even through them which your Lewis shall have born into the work. And from that time forth, the old order shall decline to be put away forever, and the new order shall take its place to triumph over all the earth. Thereafter shall the virtue of preaching come to an end, but practice in fulfilling good works and living up to my commandments shall be all that will avail for the establishing of my kingdom on earth. Go ye forth, my beloved, fulfill the seasons of the earth, that my people may rejoice in their lives, in peace and love, for the glory of my heavens, which I created for them. All right, well, yeah. At an hour, let's do one more chapter. One more chapter. Chapter 3, page 645. I like that, BC. I like that. Listen, I like that. BC said, as we exhaust all avenues individually, we shall arrive at one truth collectively. I so love the way you put that, which is exactly why the Creator said, they got to see to the end of that, right? Like, cause listen, he just said we all got different perspectives. None of us see alike, right? Even if there are some things we see alike, we have different experiences in life. Right? Even if we got the same experience in life, growing up in the same household with the same father and mother, there are different situations that happen within the family to cause, like there's always one child who feels like the black sheep, if there's a bunch of siblings, right? And there's one that they grew up in the same household. It don't even have to be people from different walks of life. It could be in your own family where we see that same dynamic happening. Everybody's perspective is different. We may agree on some things, but our perspectives on everything is not going to be the same, which is why you have all these different outcomes from this equation, right? Y'all seen Avengers? Remember Endgame, when Endgame at the end when Doctor Strange, if y'all don't know, y'all should watch all the Avengers. I love the Avengers. I love Marvel, everything, right? I'm like a comics person. I just am. I love it, right? Okay. So if you watch at the end of the Marvel movie Endgame, at the end when they had the war going on, Doctor Strange was the one who was, I think it was Doctor Strange, right? Doctor Strange was the one able to sit there and see all the different outcomes from all the different endings it could possibly have. He said out of all these endings, there's only one ending that ends well for everybody. I mean, not necessarily for everybody, but there's really, if we're going to win this war, this end game, there is really only one way where we're going to get the results. But this is really going to require the ultimate sacrifice of some of our Avengers, right? Which we can kind of see throughout the ages of time with the faithists. It also, because of what they believe and what they stood on and refused to turn away from the Creator or to live any kind of lie, it required the ultimate sacrifice from them. And they had to turn over their flesh to the dirt. It didn't take them out the game. It just took them out the game in the flesh, right? They're still in the game, but here on this level, they lost their life here. What we see, they died here, right? But it didn't take them out the game. On the contrary, I mean, that's not the word I want to say. I would say unbeknownst to those who would force them to give up their lives or to take their lives, unbeknownst to them, this actually strengthened the faithists and what we're trying to accomplish from the wisdom we learn from our Creator by holding the stance of non-resistance, even to where our own brothers and sisters want to kill us, right? Non-resistance. Think about it. When you're fighting in a household, it's the same principles, y'all, in the household with a family. The bickering and stuff that goes on in a household, the parents is like, I don't, you're gonna all work it out. But when it gets to a point where you're fighting against one another, they may not necessarily be older, they could be younger. Whoever really, that's just how you have to deal in a house. Not necessarily keep the peace, but to keep the peace, somebody has to be the bigger person and squash the argument with peace. within the family, you can't fight fire with fire to win. And that's what's happening with all the religions. You're trying to fight fire with fire. Well, they always doing this, and why we always got to be the bigger person. Why we always, because when we be the bigger person, or we live in this whole method of what the creators say, non-resistance, we end up losing our lives. And that's the perception, the point of view that all of the false gods are coming from when they first start off. Right? He said, listen, I got a question. Well, let me throw an option out here that you can probably consider. Right? Because we've been talking about this. Why don't we war, but war righteously? We can call it a holy war. Right? That way we ain't got to lose our lives. You're not seeing what's going to become of this. And that's why the Creator said, I don't want no fighting in my household amongst my children. That's what's happening. The children are fighting amongst themselves, which is why I can understand every day I'm understanding this non-resistance, this non-resistance stance a little bit more. You know, I'm like, yo, this makes a whole heck of a lot of sense, especially when your own house, you can see it in your own house, right? I'm like, okay, right? All right. Did I finish? Yeah, I finished reading it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do this one more chapter, y'all, then we're going to pause. Look. Chapter 3, page 645. S said, far up in the vault of the firmament, in the Ethereal realms of Jehovah, the voice of the Almighty has spoken. The Orion. Oh, great. Okay. Hey, girl, hey. S said, far up in the vault of the firmament, in the Ethereal realms of Jehovah, the voice of the Almighty has spoken. The Orion chief of Huamat and Baalis called unto the gods and goddesses on the plains of Thessalona, and Nadab and Vraghoama called for 10 million volunteers. Chanling, son of Jehovah, chief of Wachosi, and Baalis said, come, O ye gods and goddesses, come with me down to the red star. The earth is near the ark of Cosmon, era of Cosmon. Hey, guys, y'all got to calm down in there. Chill. Come and think for mortals, inspire them with holier thoughts, make them comprehend the light of Jehovah. Then spake Thechiah, chieftainess of Huamat, and Decadanus, saying, come, O ye gods and goddesses, I will lead you yonder to the rising red star, the little traveling earth. Behold, she cometh our way. She will cross the ark of Cosmon in 400 years. Lita Baka Thrava, Orion chief of Yohama, of 200,000 years, God of Ithwan, 40,000 years, said, come, O ye gods and goddesses, come to the red star. Behold, my Otavan, my fire ship, goeth that way on her cruise of 10,000 years. Come with me, my Otavan will carry 1,000 million. I will halt and leave you on the earth with mortals. Chesin, chief of Awentaba, of 60,000 years, called a host of his swift messengers 10,000. Unto them he said, provide an arrow ship of great velocity, and go ye in the former roadway of the earth, in the regions whither she traveled thousands of years. Proclaim it in the ethereal heavens, another corporal world, the earth, near the time of Cosmon. Mortals on the earth are to be illumined, and like gods, made to comprehend the glorious plans of the heavens of the Almighty. In 400 years, the Father's kingdom is to be founded on the red star. Bornothates, I probably said that wrong. Bornothates, chief of Guaga, called his holy council in the palace of Nu, gardens of Lasanitizi. And they looked across the firmament far off to see the slow rolling earth, where mortals still grope in darkness, whose people could not read the unseen heavens. Hey, I'm going to send everybody upstairs. Y'all too loud. Here they deliberated, some to wonder how it was that the earth, in all the time of her being, had only sent a few 100,000 million angels into the Etherian heavens, and as to where they dwelt, they had sent that. And as to where they dwelt, that they had as yet never been heard of in these fruitful gardens in Ethera. Others surmised the lowness of her grades. Hold on one second. Hey, y'all gotta go upstairs. Come on. Go to the loft. Y'all are too loud. I'll give y'all one more chance. Keep it low. Verse 9, page 646. Then spake Atavia, goddess of Peronitis. She said, "Oh, I remember the earth. Her side was crushed, and the form of her lands changed by Off in the ark of Noah 24,000 years ago. Hayata, goddess of the flying wing, was there, and I with her in her Aravagna. Oh, it was a glorious world. I will be one, a volunteer, to go thither for the 400 years. Atavia was the first volunteer, but now the names enrolled like sparks of fire flashing in the firmament. Presently, the numerators sent up rockets, the signals that the 10 million had responded to Jehovah's call. These then were the Etherian kingdoms who contributed: Jason in the swamps of Lo, Rhodus of the mountains of Kimbak, Tysane and Karwa of the plains of Tasahacha, Amos, the Choson resort, and Sagama, the kingdom of Mattheusai, goddess of Tuesta. Bornothites sent swift messengers to these kingdoms. Some were 500,000 miles distant, and some lay on crooked lanes and hid amidst nebulous forests, and yet others over and beyond the mountains, thousands of miles high and broad. And he called them to assemble in Payataya, the port of Nobro Coxax, under the arches of Geddes, to consult together and prepare for the journey. So when the hosts were assembled in Payata, Jehovah appointed Thata Gawawa as god of the cruise and mission. Forgive me for these names, I'm screwing up. And Lita Baka Thavra ordered his fire ship to be brought to Piata, where it no sooner arrived than the host of the mission, the 10 million, went aboard as guests and companions to Lita Baka Kravas, 50 million traveling visitors to worlds 10,000 times further on. And now began the trumpeters and the Isinars in songs of praise, the two bands of musicians, 1 million performers. Then outward rose the Aravagna, the ship of fire, whose photosphere, as to size, was like a world, rose up higher and higher, heading for the far-off red star that coursed in the serpent's coil 1.5 miles a day. We only got a few more verses. We're on verse 18. It's 21 verses, and then we're going to pause for the day. Verse 18, page 646. 2,000 million miles off lay the red star, the earth, seen by the magnifying instruments of the gods, seen in its little orbit around the sun of 500 million miles. 400 million miles a day sped the Aravagna through the Etherian worlds like a flash of light shot forth the ship of Lita Baka Thavra, Orion chief of thousands of years, coursing the Etherian heavens of Jehovah, a god that, but to look on a corporal world, knew the grade of her mortals and angels, even as in his flight he passed on. 5 days and nights traveled the host of the emancipated heavens to reach the earth traveled through thousands and thousands of Ethereal worlds of forests and swamps of Ga and nebula and Aji and regions of light and mountains and rivers and plains, countless places, inhabited and uninhabited in the great expanse of Jehovah's kingdom. Then they came to Chendat, the bridge of the boundary of the earth's vortex, and there halted to survey the earth and her unruly heavens, where the four false gods proclaimed themselves monarchs of the universe. A day they rested, in a day they measured the grade and standing of the earth's mortals and angels, and then they descended straight to paradise, the place of God, Jehovah's Son. And this is where we'll pick back up tomorrow. And it's Saturday, and we can read a little bit longer. We've been going over our hour mark, but we on purpose can be a little bit longer tomorrow. All right, beautiful people. That is it for today. Thank y'all for hanging out. It is Friday, September the 23rd.
Yes.
September the 23rd, 2022. Day 220 of year 4 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets. And of the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1,238.
I ain't do nothing, I just clapped.
We read pages 642 to page 646 in Oahspe, in the new book that we started, Book of S. Some people pronounce it East, right? I'm not really sure which one it is. I say East. Book of S. What I just said, I said East. Book of S, daughter of Jehovah. All right, beautiful people. So I'm gonna take a picture, and I promise y'all, as soon as I get done, I'm gonna share this other reference. When I close this out, I just be getting going. I'm gonna share the last reference that I said I was gonna share yesterday and the day before yesterday about the engineer and everything, and who works with people in NASA who come across Oahspe in like the early, I ain't gonna say early, but in like the 90s, and actually not just the 90s, because he was born before the 90s clearly, but in his engineering career and coming across Oahspe, they actually, him and a couple other people, once they retired from the engineering, they actually made this their sole focus, and they began to prove the truths that they found in Oahspe. So I'm gonna share that. That look, like I said, that book is $5. At least when I purchased it the other day, it was still $5. I'm not sure if you can download that one on Kindle, but anyway, I'm gonna share that. I'm gonna take this picture of the Ark of Cosmon, and that's gonna be it for today, right? All right, beautiful people. Let's see. Make sure, because I ain't checked for people's questions in the last few days. And Nikki, shalom, shalom. Let's see if anybody asked me a question. I ain't checked questions in like a week. Hold on, let me see before we get out of here. Let me scroll all the way back up. And everybody that came in that I didn't see, hey y'all. And everybody hanging out in the background. They don't ever say anything. Some do every now and again, okay?
What fish is that? What is it, tilapia?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Oh, thank you. The Show Me State, Global Purpose. Thank you, Missouri. That's what it was. Thank you. Okay, yeah. I don't think nobody asked me a question. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm going to share the book, y'all. All right, y'all. Everybody have a wonderful day. Father, you are never ending. All right, I know I said I wasn't going to let Tootie end it today, but since she here, she ready on pose. She like, I'm going to just show up. All right, y'all. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all back here tomorrow. Our real time on the weekend is 7:30. You know, sometime throughout the week. It's 7:15. But depending on we say 7:15-ish, right? But really, on the weekends it's 7:30. Throughout the week, Monday through Friday, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But whatever day the Sabbath falls on for that moon cycle, that's the day we rest on. And that can fall on any day throughout the week or on the weekend. For this moon cycle, it is on Sunday. So this Sunday, we will not be here. We're going to be taking our rest. But anyway, we out of here, beautiful people. I love y'all. See y'all back here tomorrow morning.
Let's roll. Hey.